Did you know the secret burden Paul Newman carried behind those famous blue eyes? Paul Newman was born Paul Leonard Newman on January 26, 1925, in the quiet, tree-lined suburb of Shaker Heights, Ohio. Growing up in a comfortable, yet disciplined household, he was the son of Arthur Newman, a successful Jewish businessman who owned a thriving sporting goods store, and Teresa Fetsko, a woman of Slovak descent who possessed a deep love for the arts. From an early age, Paul was caught between the pragmatic, hard-working world of his father and the expressive, creative world of his mother. While his parents worked hard to provide a stable life for him and his brother, Arthur, Paul often felt like an outsider in his own home, a young man searching for a purpose that didn't involve the family business. In 1943, with the world engulfed in the fires of World War II, Paul enlisted in the United States Navy, hoping to find adventure and a sense of duty. He dreamed of becoming a pilot, a role that would have suited his natural athleticism and daring spirit. However, during a routine flight physical, it was discovered that he was colorblind, a revelation that grounded his dreams of flying but inadvertently saved his life. Instead, he served as a radio man and tail gunner on torpedo bombers in the Pacific Theater. His time in the military was marked by a chilling brush with mortality. His plane was grounded due to his pilot's ear infection, causing them to miss a mission from which no one in his unit returned. This experience left an indelible mark on his soul, instilling a lifelong sense of survivor's guilt and a belief that his life was governed by a luck he hadn't quite earned. Returning home from the war, Paul felt a restless energy that led him to Kenyon College and later to the Yale School of Drama. But it was in the gritty, high-stakes environment of New York City's New York theater circuit that he truly began to hone his craft. Like many young actors of his era, Paul struggled to break through the shadow of more established stars. He was often compared to Marlon Brando, a comparison that frustrated him as he sought to find his own unique voice. During this period of relative obscurity, he worked tirelessly, taking acting classes and auditioning for any role that would have him. It was during these lean years that he married his first wife, Jackie Witt, an aspiring actress herself. They settled into a modest life, and soon they were raising 3 children, Susan, Stephanie, and their only son, Scott Newman. Paul worked regular jobs to support his growing family, all while never abandoning his dream of the silver screen. Paul's big break finally came in 1953 when he was cast in the Broadway production of Picnic. His performance was a revelation, showcasing a raw, magnetic vulnerability that caught the attention of major Hollywood producers. But it was also during the rehearsals for this play that his life changed in a way he could never have anticipated. He met Joanne Woodward, a young actress whose intelligence and talent left him breathless. Their connection was instantaneous and profound, a whirlwind of shared passions and artistic respect. However, their burgeoning romance was complicated by the reality of Paul's existing marriage and his responsibilities as a father. For years, Paul wrestled with the guilt of leaving his first family, a struggle that would haunt his relationship with his children for decades to come. Eventually, in 1958, he and Joanne were married in Las Vegas, beginning what the public viewed as a fairy tale union. But what was, in reality, a marriage built on complex compromises and deep-seated devotion. Throughout the 1960s, Paul Newman's career reached heights that few actors ever achieve. He became a cultural icon, synonymous with a new kind of anti-hero masculinity. His portrayals of Fast Eddie Felson in The Hustler and the defiant prisoner in Cool Hand, Luke earned him widespread critical acclaim and cemented his status as a formidable talent. He was praised for his impeccable timing and his ability to balance a tough exterior with a heart of gold. His chemistry with co-stars like Robert Redford, Elizabeth Taylor, and Jackie Gleason was a key ingredient in some of the era's greatest commercial hits. But as his fame grew, so did the distance between him and his son, Scott. While the world adored Paul Newman, Scott was growing up in the immense shadow of a father who was considered the most handsome and talented man on the planet. While Paul Newman was captivating audiences with his charm, a silent tragedy was unfolding within his own family. His only son, Scott, was a young man of undeniable talent and athletic ability. Yet he lived in a world where he was constantly measured against his father's impossible standard. Scott attempted to follow in Paul's footsteps, taking on small roles and working as a stuntman. but the pressure of being Paul Newman's son became a heavy, suffocating burden. Many fans may not realize that the distance between father and son grew as Paul's career soared, with the elder Newman often struggling to know how to communicate with a son who seemed so lost. Tragically, in November 1978, the family's fears became a reality. Scott died of an accidental drug overdose in a Los Angeles hotel room at the age of 28. This loss devastated Paul, leaving a deep emotional scar that he would carry for the rest of his life. He often spoke of the unspeakable guilt of a father outliving his son, and in the years that followed, he sought to turn that pain into something meaningful. In the wake of Scott's death, Paul's life took a significant turn toward humanitarianism. He realized that his fame could be used for more than just personal gain, and in 1982, he launched Newman's Own, a food company that began as a playful venture with his friend A.E. Hotchkiss. What started with salad dressing soon grew into a global empire, but the defining characteristic was Paul's insistence that every cent of the profits be donated to charity. He established the Scott Newman Center to help prevent drug abuse, and perhaps most famously, he founded the Hole in the Wall Gang Camp, providing a place where children with serious illnesses could just raise a little hell and enjoy their childhoods. This commitment to giving back was a testament to his character. He wasn't interested in the tax breaks or the publicity, often working quietly behind the scenes to ensure the camps were a success. His philanthropy was his way of balancing the scales of a life he felt had been unfairly blessed by luck. Even as he became a respected elder statesman of film, Newman's professional life was marked by notable tensions and rivalries. His relationship with Steve McQueen during the filming of The Towering Inferno was famously strained. McQueen, known for his own intense and competitive nature, insisted on having the same number of lines and the same billing as Newman, a demand that Paul found both frustrating and indicative of the ego-driven nature of Hollywood. Additionally, Newman was often frustrated by the lack of recognition from the Academy, receiving several nominations before finally winning the Best Actor Oscar for The Color of Money in 1986. Working alongside a young Tom Cruise, Newman brought a weary wisdom to the role of Fast Eddie Felson, proving that his talent had only deepened with age. Despite the accolades, he remained humble, once quipping that he was just a guy who got lucky with his eye color. In his later years, Paul Newman's health began to decline, though he faced his final challenges with the same stoicism that had defined his career. A lifelong heavy smoker, he was eventually diagnosed with lung cancer, a condition he kept largely private for as long as possible. Many of his peers, including Robert Redford and Elizabeth Taylor, spoke with admiration of his resilience during this time. He made his final on-screen appearance in the 2002 film Road to Perdition, delivering a powerful, understated performance as a mob boss, a role that showcased his ability to command the screen even in his late 70s. As his condition worsened, he retired to his home in Westport, Connecticut, where he spent his final months surrounded by his devoted wife, Joanne, and their daughters. Paul Newman passed away in the early morning hours of September 26, 2008, at the age of 83. His death was met with a global outpouring of grief from fans, colleagues, and the thousands of children whose lives had been touched by his camps. In a final act that reflected his humble nature, there was no massive, star-studded funeral. Instead, he was cremated in a private ceremony, and his family honored his life in the quiet, dignified way he had lived it. His burial site remains a place of quiet reflection for his family, a far cry from the glitz and glamour of the industry he helped define. Ultimately, Paul Newman's legacy is not just one of cinematic greatness, but of profound human complexity. He was a man who won an Emmy, 3 Golden Globes, and an Oscar, yet he often felt like he was still that colorblind boy from Ohio searching for his place in the world. His portrayal of the cool hand rebel was more than an act. It was a reflection of his own independent spirit and his refusal to play by Hollywood's rules. He stayed married to Joanne Woodward for 50 years in an industry known for its disposable relationships, proving that loyalty and love could survive even the brightest spotlights. Today, Paul Newman's name continues to bring joy through the products that bear his face and the camps that continue to serve sick children around the world. He proved that an actor could be more than just a face on a screen. they could be a force for genuine change. While he may have struggled behind the scenes with the loss of his son and the pressures of his own legend, his dedication to his craft and his community remains a testament to his unwavering spirit. As we look back on the life of Paul Newman, we are reminded that even those who seem to have it all carry their own burdens. His story is one of triumph over tragedy, of a man who used his luck to make the world a little kinder. His piercing blue eyes may have faded from the screen, but the light he brought to the world through his kindness and his talent continues to shine. In the end, Paul Newman was exactly who he seemed to be, a man of integrity, a devoted husband, and a legend who never forgot the value of a good laugh and a helping hand.